Good morning, everybody. While I was editing this video, something else came in. I want to thank Atlantis very much for the link to this. And I just want to mention that Hugh James is a huge law firm in the UK. They're in the top 100 law firms in the UK and have offices in London and different places like that. But this article is Jehovah's Witness elder sentenced to 9 years in prison for sexual abuse. Jehovah's Witness elder Clifford Whiteley has been sentenced to 9 years in prison at the Birmingham Crown Court for sexual abuse offenses he committed against a child member of the congregation over 10 years ago. And I'm going to put the link down below to this article. Mr. Whiteley initially denied the offenses to the police, despite the fact that he had admitted his guilt during an internal investigation of the Jehovah's Witnesses. During court proceedings, Mr. Whiteley's defense counsel, Sharon Bailey, stated that the Jehovah's Witnesses refused to disclose the details of his confession to the police. They claimed that this was for data protection reasons. Yeah, so now they're trying to pull the data protection. Oy vey. I'm going to skip down a little bit. This case raises some concerning issues about organizational cooperation with the police in the case of an investigation and how this interacts with religious freedoms. And that's what the big issue is. And then also you've got the clergy penitent privilege. That raises big issues. At what point, do you allow them the confidentiality of clergy penitent privilege and data protection? There should be no question about this. If it is a crime against children, it needs to be reported to the police. So on with our original video. Good morning, everybody.
Howdy.
Together again.
Yeah, for a quick video.
Yeah, we got some elders' letters in. Thank you very much, Petra and Atlantis. Appreciate it. Dated June 18th, 2020. To all bodies of elders, instructions for our online meetings. Due to the epidemic of COVID-19, we are holding our meetings by video conference, which permits the congregation to continue receiving scriptural instruction and the encouragement that is sorely needed in this day and age.
But if these are the last of the last of the final part of the last days, what's the point? Watchtower, what's the point?
Well, they have to encourage the witnesses to keep coming to the Zoom meetings in case they miss something. They wouldn't want to miss out any instruction that they're going into the Great Tribulation, right? Right, Jay? Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Jay did a great video, Jay the comedian, and he's talking about if this is the last of the final part of the last days, why aren't they pushing that this is the beginning of the Great Tribulation? I think they're afraid to,
They're afraid to
go
say
that far again. Been there, done that in 1975, right, Watchtower?
Yeah.
On with the letter. We are pleased to see that many congregations have enjoyed a significant increase in meeting attendance.
Significant?
So I have to ask, is this PMOs or those who have been fading that are signing into the meetings now to see what's going on? Is this XJWs that may think that maybe there is going to be a great tribulation in Armageddon? I don't know, but significant increase?
Well, the only thing I can think of is that they're getting the Jehovah's Witnesses familiar with the Zoom, and this is going to be the format now. This is going, like I've said it before, it's going to be an online religion. Right, Mom? Remember, Mom, I wrote you a letter or left you a phone call just before you blocked our number, and I said this is what they're going to do. So are their numbers increasing now because the Jehovah's Witness is getting familiar with Zoom? This is going to be the direction. I mean, after all, they're selling Kingdom Halls significantly.
Well, the cartoon instructions, yeah, these instructions that came with this letter are cartoon-like and very, it's demeaning. It's insulting. They're, doing these, charts and stuff. Like they're talking to a 5-year-old.
Well, look at who the letter is addressed to.
All bodies of elders. That explains it, I
Well,
guess.
but the heading, Testigos Cristianos de Jehovah. It's a Christian congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, but they're talking down to their members is what they're actually doing. That's why they have to present the instructions in cartoon form.
Well, many countries are opening back up from COVID, and here in the United States, churches are opening back up and people are allowed to go there. So I have to ask, if Watchtower is sending out this letter with further instructions, this tells me that they're not planning on opening up back the Kingdom Halls to meetings anytime soon.
Or not to the significant level that they've enjoyed in times past.
Yeah.
Because Watchtower, we know you watch our videos, because it wasn't too long ago when Kim and I talked about a Zoom conference, a Zoom judicial hearing, and just but a short few weeks later, what do? You come out with a elders letter saying not to hold Zoom elders meetings or judicial hearings. So we know you're watching our videos and you're hearing what we're saying. Make no mistake about that, friends. So you listen to what I'm saying, Watchtower. If you could see our side of the computer to how many Jehovah's Witnesses are waking up to the fact that you are selling the Kingdom Halls and the reasons why, we can understand why you're wanting to get more and more and more of these Jehovah's Witnesses significantly tuned in to your Zoom meetings. Because what it does, it takes the responsibility away from the congregations. It does away with the congregations, the elder arrangement, and everything else.
The liability.
The liability. Because your little non-profit franchises, the Kingdom Halls, are a liability. And I said this years ago. This isn't anything new that you're hearing from me, Watchtower. I've said this years ago. Because your business model has failed and it's fallen flat on the floor because of the child abuse problem.
And speaking of that, I'm going to try to get the documents up on our website, and I'm going to put the link down below, because I have been sent some links on some forums where some were like, yeah, the Australian article, they really, didn't explain anything. It was poorly written and stuff. And it's like, no, there are so many documents, so many rabbit holes, and that you need to look at these documents and stuff. And I'm just going to mention real quick and put the screenshot up here. This is from the 2018 Australia Charities, what we would call tax forms, these reports that they have to file. Look here. Their income is 28 million Australian dollars. Look at this. Donations and overseas aid. They have sent out over 21 million Australian dollars to donations and overseas aid, and we know they don't donate to anybody except another one of their organizations.
That's right.
So they're taking the money out of one pocket and putting it in another. And then look at the bottom line here. They're operating 1.5 million Australian dollars in the deficit, in the red.
Bankruptcy!
So any business would not be sending $21 million out in donations and overseas aid to make themselves in the deficit unless they were sending it to another part of their little octopus tentacles.
That's right.
So it's just a matter of putting it in one pocket and into another. But like I said, it's such a deep rabbit hole that, the article, even though when I printed it up, it was like 22 pages and they had all the graphs and stuff, there just wasn't enough room to go into every little detail. And I mentioned, and I put the link to Bill Hahn's video, Apostate of Oz. His video, watch that. He's got drawings and stuff of arrows of where this money is going. And something else that I discovered recently, and someone else mentioned it too that is in our team, that Germany Watchtower has been fighting to become a legal entity in Germany. Well, I just found out because it's on jw.org where they're saying, oh, we finally got legal recognition in Germany. Well, why have they been fighting for this? Because when you go and look at the German laws, German charities, tax-exempt churches and stuff, if they're a recognized legal entity, organization, business, they don't have to report their finances. Do you guys understand that? So Watchtower can take all this money from all these other branches, franchises, congregations, Bethels, whatever, and send it to these countries where they don't have to report their finances. Do you understand now how big of a rabbit hole this is? And how you have to follow the money.
And you have to find out why they're fighting for legal recognition in some of these countries. It's just not so they can go knocking from door to door, people. No, it's because they have something they have to hide, and in some of these countries, they can hide it.
Yeah, so like I said, many of us have been working on this behind the scenes, and I'm going to put the documents down below. And this is what was given to Natalie O'Brien for the Australian article. And like I said, it's a deep rabbit hole, and it would just take so much time and, room to explain, why we say this money is being moved around. And, just like here in the United States, the Catholic Church, yeah, they had a fund for the child abuse victims, but the money ran out right away because there's so many victims. So each one of these dioceses, they were sending their money to the mother, Catholic Church. Well, guess what? They're out of money. So now they become a liability. A lot of these dioceses are filing bankruptcy.
We've had 2 or 3 in New Mexico here just in the past couple of years already.
Yeah, the Boy Scouts of America, they have so many abuse survivors that they have run out of money. They have filed bankruptcy. I seen a commercial on TV. It says that if you were in the Boy Scouts of America, time is running out to file a suit against them because they have filed bankruptcy and going into, to where they don't have to pay this because they're out of money.
They're out of money. And I've said this before to you friends, if you're going to sue Watchtower, you need to do it now because they're moving their monies around, and as the bottom line shows, in Australia, they have already projected a 1-point-something million loss. There's no money to go after because they're moving it out of country.
Yeah, because they know what's going to happen with the redress scheme.
Look, it's as simple as this, and it's hiding in plain sight, and it's always hidden in plain sight. We've just been too stupid to see it as a collective group of Jehovah's Witnesses. Religion is a snare and a racket. It's right there in plain sight.
He told everybody
He told everybody the truth. He spelled it right out. It was right there all along. Religion is a snare and a racket. We were just too stupid to see that it was Watchtower also that's that snare and a racket.
Yeah.
And we just keep giving and giving and giving and giving and giving.
Now, along those lines, I'm going to put a link down below to a new YouTube channel. Check him out. Watchtower History. I just watched one he did on Rutherford and a death threat within his own family. So check this channel out. It looks like they're going to be getting some great information. They're digging up all these archives. And guys, if you need anything, I have a huge archives. Just holler. Back to the letter. We got a little sidetracked.
Well, these letters, Watchtower, are absolutely pointless at this point of the game.
But it's enlightening for us because we can see,
What they're doing.
that they have no plans in the near future to go back to the Kingdom Hall and the meetings and the control they have. And I keep getting messages. Thank you everybody so much for your messages, because I'm getting all these messages of those of you who are fully awake and you are tuning into these Zoom meetings. That's why I know these aren't all JWs,
That's right.
the significant increase. Because I know a lot of you are tuning in and you're telling me that, wow, the Control Watchtower has over these Zoom meetings, that
That's right.
they're actually able to get more control than they are at the meetings. And a lot of you had told me that you think also that they're going to stick with the Zoom meetings and get rid of Kingdom Halls because they have more control over the congregation.
That's right.
Back to the letter. With a view to improving the quality of the meeting, some simple instructions are now attached. Simple, all right. These can be shared with the brothers. The objective is to achieve good quality in image and audio that will facilitate better concentration and avoid distractions during the meetings.
So if this whole Zoom thing was a temporary thing, then why are they looking to improve it? Why? Because they recognize that this is where they're going right now.
See, and this avoids the Kingdom Hall crashes. They have to know. This is why you have to sign into the Zoom and set up an account, because then the elders know exactly who you are, where you are from, and I'm sure they have, can find out your IP address.
Of course.
So the control, they know exactly who is at the meeting. So this is going to avoid the Kingdom Hall crashes.
That's child's play by today's standards.
The last sentence here. We certainly appreciate the delightful companionship with our dear brothers. No doubt you will continue to carefully prepare the Christian meetings, which are of great help emotionally and spiritually.
In Hebrews 10:24 and 25, do not forsake the gathering of yourselves together.
Yeah. Now I just want to show these instructions for our online meetings. As you can see, it's like cartoon and very demeaning.
Very demeaning.
Yeah. Distractions. Choose proper surroundings. Connect from a quiet place and prepare the background. Yeah, that's a kid in a snorkel and mask.
Yeah, but I don't see anybody with a beard either. but I do see the nerd with the glasses.
Yeah. Now, I thought this was interesting. Personal appearance. Center your image on the screen. Avoid moving the device. Dress. Formal, respectful, modest, but in good taste. So like I said, they still want you to dress, for like you were going to the Kingdom Halls.
And then of course, when you're zooming into the district convention, make sure you have your badges on. You want to have your badges.
Yeah. And then they just say, avoid distraction, outside noise. Well, if you live in a city, I don't know how you're going to do that and block out, sirens outside and airplanes and
Airplanes
everything.
going overhead.
Yeah. Preparations. Connect in advance to have time to test audio and video. Choose proper lighting and only one device. Audio. Before speaking, make sure the microphone is on. Oy vey.
But they're seeing a significant increase. No, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not. And if they are, it's because the Jehovah's Witnesses are getting more comfortable now getting the meeting zoomed in than opposed to getting dressed and driving 20, 30, 40 miles now, maybe even 50 in some of the JW's cases, because that's going to, that's not really cost effective anymore. What's going to happen if gasoline goes back up to $3-4 a gallon?
Well, I happen to know that ex-JW elder's wife, Jane Doe, was invited by one of her JW kids to sit in on a Zoom meeting, and she was just rolling her eyes. She just said it was just ridiculous.
It's just ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, and some of the things they were saying.
Yeah.
So.
Anyhow, the stupidity of Watchtower's leadership's never going to end as long as people are going to continue to sit there and be dumbed down.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I also want to mention the circuit overseer at the Zoom meeting. They're pushing to have your to-go bags ready. I have to ask, where are the Jehovah's Witnesses going to
Go
flee?
where?
Yeah.
Go where?
To the mountains? I don't know about other places, but here in New Mexico, trails and roads up to the mountains are closed because of fire danger.
Well, here's the stupidity of running off to the mountains. Because they're going to use that scripture where Jesus said, flee to the mountains, flee to the mountains. Hey, every other Tom, Dick, and Harry's going to flee to the mountains too. Where do you think the criminals are going? They're going to the mountains. Guess what? When you're in the mountains, 99% of the people up there that flee up there don't have means to protect themselves, so you make yourself a target. And how is it that you're a target? Because every Tom, Dick, and Harry knows that in your backpack, you've got food. If you're going to flee, you're crazy to do so. You're best to stay at home when you can defend yourself. Think about what's going on. Even where we live here, this whole COVID shelter-in-place bullshit, where did all those people go? They went up to the mountains right here and sheltered in the mountains. And now that some of those people are left, they left all their garbage and their shit behind. It's horrible what these people are doing to our natural resources. Let's shelter in place. No, they all go and sheltered in the mountain and they left all their crap behind for the government to pick up now. It's ridiculous.
Well, the thing is that some of them accidentally started forest fires.
Well, that too, yeah,
So
accidentally.
now we have forest fires all over our state, and the smoke has been terrible. That's why you haven't seen me doing any videos this past week, because my asthma has been acting up. But I wanted to mention, I'm just going to call this person T. Thank you, T, very much. They were invited by their daughter to a Zoom meeting for the Circuit Overseer's special talk, and they did not record it, but they took notes, and the talk started out with, "Are we too busy?" Well, apparently not, if Watchtower says they have significant increase in attendance. Cow stomachs, sheep stomachs, and storing spiritual fat, like the woman who was in prison for 20 years and her Bible saved her. A disfellowshipped man who lived a life of debauchery but turned around and was reinstated only to discover he has AIDS. I wonder if he was a pedophile too.
Could have been.
Do you miss meetings for no good reason? If the elders call you, do you return the call? When the elders call you, it's from Jehovah.
Yeah.
Do you say elders don't understand? When have you thanked Jehovah for elders? You need to keep in constant communication with the elders. The elders do research night and day to help you.
No, they don't.
Elders, you need to make phone calls on the flock. Wow.
How pathetic.
This is the kind of stuff
pathetic.
they're hearing in these Zoom meetings. Yeah, just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just wanted to mention that there was another elder's letter in Madrid, June 12th, to all congregations about the branch renovation project. So I have to ask, if Australia is sending most of their money out overseas, I guess that's a equalizing of funds to build more kingdom halls.
So they're buying the Apostle Paul bullshit, aren't they?
Because they're starting this renovation project here in Spain and they're asking for volunteers.
They're going to get volunteers to build another branch, build another Kingdom Hall. 2-3 years from now, it's going up for sale, and the Jehovah's Witnesses are completely out.
Yeah.
It's the same old mantra, people. It's the same old thing. You just have to learn to be smarter than what Watchtower is, to see what their end game plan is.
Yeah, and if this project is going to take several years, that tells me they don't believe that this is in the last days, the final part of the last days. There was an announcement to the attention to all the elders, clarification about alternate methods of preaching. The announcement of June 9th, 2020 stated the following: text messages or emails should not be sent to individuals with whom you are not personally acquainted to. So they're trying to do away with these texts and phone calls that all of us are just getting out of the blue. Guess what, Watchtower? They're not listening. People are still getting cold phone calls from Jehovah's Witnesses, still getting letters, still getting text messages that they don't know who these witnesses are, but they're still getting this.
And you drop the hour per month requirement, and this bullshit right here is going to stop.
Yeah.
You can save the paper, Watchtower.
Yeah. We are concerned about publishers sending unsolicited text messages and emails when witnessing to individuals with whom they are not personally acquainted. You better be worried, because some of these XJWs are getting these text messages, letters, and phone calls, and they're reporting them. And the JWs aren't listening because they have to get that time.
They have to get the time.
Yeah. Yeah. This is another one that was an announcement for congregations. Be considerate. Do not call too early or too late in the day. Please do not put a householder on speakerphone so that others can hear the conversation. Text messages and emails should not be sent to individuals with whom you are not personally acquainted.
Do you see what's happening, Jehovah's Witnesses, in these messages? They are slowly but surely taking away your ability to put in time.
Yeah. And the last point number 2 here is, when sharing in the ministry, we appreciate your using good judgment, exercising due caution, and displaying good manners. Okay, the 2 JW ladies that called me, they were using phones that were security, so that you didn't even know who was calling, so you don't know until you pick up that they're Jehovah's Witnesses. And then if you question them or ask them anything, they will not answer it, and they get mad. The one actually chewed me out, and I told her, I says, ma'am, you're the one that called me. You know, why are you getting so mad? Just look at the scripture. You told me you were going to look at the scripture. And she got mad and started chewing me out and hung up on me. How is that displaying good manners? You call me, you start chewing me out and hang up on me? Yeah, they're not displaying good manners, Watchtower. They're rude and obnoxious. Good Lord. All right, I think that's all I needed to cover here. Ah, that was a lot.
Thanks for watching this rant, and come on, people. Come on, Jehovah's Witnesses, start processing. Turn that computer on that's called your brain and process things and think things through. It's not that difficult.
Yeah. And thank you, everybody who's been sending me properties. Kingdom Hall's going up for sale. My goodness, we've been working, trying to get all of these put into the Watchtower Property Tracker, and we appreciate it, because as the article brought out, this tracker now is being shared with these journalists and the Joint Select Committee for the redress scheme in Australia. So I think this is a good piece of evidence, and we wish we had all of the pieces to put together of what was fully going on within Watchtower. And I just want to mention that Adam Phillips, the one who designed the property tracker, sent me some information, the latest updated information. Okay, on our property tracker, we know about 727 properties. 172 of those, we don't know how much they sold it for. Now, in our hub video a while back, we got a screenshot. Held for sale is 4,308 properties. That means projected what Watchtower is going to put up for sale. And then right beside that, they have sold 1,518 properties already. But of the $2.67 billion of what we do know for sale in our property tracker, that's only 12.47% of Watchtower's, sales. That is a lot of money. How much would it be if we knew 100%
right.
of what they were selling these properties for? Think about that.
Yep.
Think about that. We only know about 12.47%, and we know about 2.67 billion US dollars. So this is the kind of money we're talking about.
That's right. So.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and happy Father's Day to all you fathers. And we hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
Bye.